Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout, and let's talk about why Willow, the Disney Plus series, has been canceled. I grew up as a kid, loving the movie. It came out in 1988. It has a little bit of everything you wanted. It's got fantasy, it's got humor, it's a little bit scary, it's got great characters. You got Val Kilmer, you got Warwick Davis, everything. It's really, really cool. So all of us, we thought, hey, this would be a great series, right? I mean, there's a lot you could tell. There's a lot of stories you could tell, a lot of adventures that you could go on with these characters. Well, leave it to Disney to just take those expectations and throw them off a cliff, because they ruined the whole thing. They messed it up. They did what Disney does, and now the series is canceled. I'm going to dive into what happened, why it happened, what went wrong, and probably what they could have done differently. Before I do, go on over, hit subscribe, click notification bell, comment, and like this video. Okay, so I'm over here at Cosmic Book News. It just came out that they canceled this series. The reason why, it did terrible. Nobody cared. I almost didn't even want to do a review on it, because who cares, right? It's canceled. Nobody's watching it. But I like Warwick Davis, and I like this story because I like the movie. The movie was directed by Ron Howard. I think it's a good movie, and I think it holds up in a lot of ways. Disney Plus cancels Willow after one season, which is pretty bad. They could have got like 3 seasons out of this, honestly. Easy. The highly anticipated return of Warwick Davis fizzled with fans and won't be moving forward. Say goodbye to Willow as it's learned that Disney Plus has canceled them. It's known Willow is the lowest rated series on Disney Plus. Now, if you go on Disney Plus and you see there's a lot of different series on there. There's like ones that are for, teens, tweens, all different demographics of people. The fact that this is the lowest out of all of them is pretty crazy, considering there's a built-in fan base for the Willow series, for the Willow movie. And also there's a lot of people that like Warwick Davis. I mean, he's a recognizable actor. He was in all the Harry Potter movies. He was in, he played Wicket in Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I mean, the guy's been around Hollywood for most of his life. And the fact this is the lowest rated is inexcusable. It says, it's known Willow is the lowest rated series, with fans not liking the series as the Rotten Tomatoes audience score dropped to a low of 27%, and the show has a dismal 5.6 rating on IMDb. So, I mean, that's clearly an F, failing grade. Only 481,000 households watched the first 2 episodes of Willow in its first 5 days of release, which is lower than the million or more plus that the Star Wars and some of the Marvel shows normally average. I mean, that's really not a lot, because, 481 households. So basically what that means is a lot of people watched the first 2 episodes and they just didn't come back. The news comes from Deadline, who says that the cancellation comes amid Lucasfilm reassessing its film slate, as Disney CEO Bob Iger recently said Disney is taking a careful look at Star Wars and Marvel. They're taking a careful look because they're not making any money, which is unbelievable, right? Because you have 2 IPs that have decades of fans. There are fans that are 70 years old. There are fans that are 7 years old, and they can't make money off of it. Isn't that crazy? I mean, you could literally run commercials in between the episodes for Play-Doh or life insurance. There's so much money you could be making, but Disney has just squandered all of this. Why is Willow so bad? So this is really diving into what did they mess up on? And if you're paying attention to pop culture, if you know, if you like fantasy movies, if you like fantasy series, if you know what Disney's been doing over the last 7 or 8 years, this comes as no surprise. A lot of normies are now finally waking up to it. Originally they're watching the stuff and they're like, this isn't good. I don't know why. Now they kind of are acknowledging why it's not any good. So Willow followed the popular 1988 movie and featured the highly anticipated return of Warwick Davis as the title character. However, the series is nowhere as good and doesn't do the original movie any justice. The story follows, I'm just going to say, an alphabet princess who is set to get married to a loser prince, where her twin brother, the best swordsman in the realm, gets kidnapped, and a band of weak misfits who aren't capable of much of anything, let alone battle, is off to save him. The best fighter, the most seasoned veteran of the bunch, the male knight, or just knight, also gets killed off right away. So you have the most interesting character is just taken out of the story, from the get-go. Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for success. And it wasn't done like how Game of Thrones did it, right? Where they build up a character, then, they die or whatever. It was just like, nah, we're getting him out of here. Warwick Davis is also said he was inspired by The Last Jedi, which that is, I don't know, anybody could be inspired by that. Another project that craps all over the original. So we see Willow went down the tubes just like that flick. Jonathan Katzman wrote the pilot episode, who was also Solo, a Star Wars story, another stinker. The first Star Wars movie to lose money that, along with The Last Jedi, led to Disney pulling back on its release of Star Wars films. And Katzman also served as a showrunner of Willow, along with Wendy Merkel, who produced The Arrow at the CW. And the CW didn't make any money. So you got The Last Jedi, didn't make any money really. You have Solo, didn't make any money, lost money. They filmed the whole movie twice. Most people don't know that. They filmed it all the way. It was terrible, unwatchable, unreleasable. Not even like Redbox, straight to, bargain bin. Redid it again, so they lost money in that one. And then the CW, they never made any money with all these different TV shows. I mean, it's pretty much a wash. It's like a tax write-off or something for somebody. So it's interesting because, like, in Hollywood, people fail upward. It's weird. It's like in the real world, if you fail at something small, you don't get something big. You don't even get something medium sized. But in Hollywood, if you fail at a little thing, then they go to you, you failed at that little thing. Let's try something bigger. And then you fail at that next thing. And then they go, you failed at that. Let's try something even bigger. And then it just goes on and on and on. It's crazy. It's illogical. Regarding what Iger had to say, he's trying to spin things that Star Wars and now Marvel have too much output, which is hurting the brands, do you think? But as I said, it's not a quantity issue. It's a quality issue. I think it's both. Willow is a terrible series because the writing is awful, just like a lot of Disney Star Wars and now Marvel. The amount of projects isn't hurting the brands, it's the leadership. I agree. So once again, Bob Iger is shifting the blame onto other people. Keep in mind, he put all of these crazy people, all these lunatic people that are just, they don't know how to tell stories. They have weird, they're just ideologically driven. They're not story driven in any way. He put all those people into positions of authority, in positions of power, and he can't just remove them right away, if at all. So he has to shift the blame to somebody else. If Disney Plus wants to compete with the likes of Netflix and HBO Max, not going to happen. It needs to do a much better job putting its shows together. Do you think? Honestly, this should have been a slam dunk. Now they couldn't have had Val Kilmer in it. He has a lot of health issues. Maybe he did like a cameo or something, kind of like how he was in Maverick, Maybe like one like battle scene or something, Give him like a heroic end. That would have been kind of cool. But Warwick Davis, he's a good actor. He's not just somebody who does, like mythological characters or fantasy characters and makeup or like a little suit or something like that. He's legit a good actor. In the Willow movie, he does a great job. I think he carries the movie. He's great. He's got a lot of comedic timing. He's fantastic. And they just crapped all over that. This could have been a great opportunity for someone, maybe a little person like Warwick Davis to really shine, to really have his own series, kind of like what happened with Game of Thrones. But Disney, they just couldn't help themselves. They just couldn't. So let me know what you think. Did you watch the series Willow? Did you put yourself through that? Or do you think that, this is a good move? This is a good move that Disney is just kind of getting rid of all this crap, all the stuff that isn't any good. And maybe, just maybe, there's a chance we'll see the old Disney. We'll see the Disney from the 90s. I think that's peak Disney, in my opinion. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you have future rants, reviews, original content, click subscribe. Later.